Prey has now released on Hulu, giving audiences the fifth solo Predator film. It has been 35 years since the original film, and there have been a ton of awesome kills throughout the franchise. But now that I've seen Prey, it's time to give my personal ranking for the top 15 best kills in the Predator franchise. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Carter Scotland Allen. This is my film page where I talk anything and everything film related. If I'm interested, I will talk about it, and I also share my professional filmmaking journey. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like movie related content. I have now seen and reviewed every single film in the Predator franchise, including the newest edition with Prey. You guys can check out all of those reviews on my channel. I will link that down in the description below. There is a playlist of all of those reviews, as well as a ranking of all 7 of the Predator related films, which will be coming out shortly later on today. But I'm so excited to be talking about the top 15 best kills in the Predator franchise. I was going to make this a top 10, but the Predator is a creature, a film, an idea that I love so much. But the creature itself is so awesome. There's been some awesome kills throughout the franchise, so I couldn't pick just 10. I had to do 15. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into the top 15 kills in the Predator franchise, with a kill from 2010's Predators landing in at number 15. Here we have a kind of surprising kill with Mombasa's death in Predators, played by Mahershala Ali. His death isn't necessarily the most graphic, but it is very cringy for me personally to watch. He gets speared through the body multiple times, and then you do get a couple close-up shots of the spears kind of fidgeting. Either that or his body is just settling down on the spears, and it's really unsettling to watch. He is one of the more forgettable characters in the film, but his death comes as quite a shock, giving one of the more memorable moments throughout the film. And coming in at number 14, we have our first entry from 2018's The Predator. The Predator is an awful film, but I will have to say there are a couple nice touches throughout the film that are pretty badass. At number 14 though, we have the Predator entering a suburban home. I honestly forgot all of the context because I absolutely despise that film, but the Predator enters a suburban home and ends up killing 2 guys. One guy is standing above him and you can see through the hole in the ground, and he uses his wrist blade gauntlet, stabs him under the ground, rips it out, grabs another guy by like the chest or the neck, and then just goes full stabby. No, the blood doesn't look that great, but the speed and the strength of the Predator itself and just his fierceness with these kills is the reason for it landing on this list. And yes, I do understand this is a double kill. This also won't be the only double kill on this list. There will be one more, and that is also going to be from 2018's The Predator. But let's move on to the number 13 spot. And coming in at that 13 spot, we have the Predator itself as the victim, with Celtic's death in Alien vs. Predator, released in 2004. This film overall lacks any creative human death, but the reason this lands on this list at all is because the fact that you get the Xenomorph's little baby mouth puncturing the skull of the Predator, and it's one of the more visceral, practical moments throughout the film. It's really bloody, but because it's green, they're able to show quite a bit of it, and I absolutely think it is one of the more memorable, awesome kills in the franchise. At number 12, we have a kill from 1990's Predator 2, with a Jamaican gang member being pinned to the wall by one of the Predator's nets, and then due to all the chaos going on around them, a few more of the Jamaican gang members are just kind of scared of everything going on, so they end up shooting in the direction of the pinned gang member on the wall. So not only is this gang member being squeezed to death by a net, he's being shot up by basically his buddies. So yeah, it's not necessarily super graphic in the grand scheme of the whole Predator franchise, but it's enough to make me squirm and be a little grossed out. And coming in at number 11, we also have another kill that seems quite tame compared to other kills in the franchise, but is still awesome, no doubt. It is the Berserker Predator killing the classic Predator in 2010's Predators. The fight between the two really isn't great, it's not memorable, and I honestly don't need to see that specific fight for a very long time, but the decapitation and the green goo blood is awesome enough for it to land a spot on this list. Alright, we are now closing in on the top 10 spots, the top 10 best kills in the Predator franchise. Coming in at the number 10 spot though, we have a kill from Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. Honestly, I don't like this film, but it has an awesome kill with Jesse's death, being pinned to the wall by a giant Predator shuriken. ugh, and the Predator shuriken's covered in alien xenomorph blood, which is known to be acidic, so that's kind of the reasons why you hear those bubbling, gross sounds when she's pinned against the wall. Really gross, they don't show much, but it's an awesome kill. Moving on to the number 9 spot, we have our first appearance from Prey, the newest Predator film, with the wolf spine rip. This kill sees the Predator slowly working its way up the food chain and easily taking out this wolf. The kill itself was cool, and the confrontation between the two was very calm and collected from the Predator's point of view. But the reason that this kill specifically lands on this list at all is because of the way that the Predator is shown doing the classic spine rip and using the wrist gauntlet to technically make it easier to rip out the spine, and I was not expecting to fully see it, although it's all CGI, still very gross. On top of that, we also get to see the Predator cleaning the skull, which is something we've never seen done in the franchise before, and I absolutely thought it was awesome. And coming in at the number 8 spot, we're going all the way back to the original with Mac's death. I love this kill because Mac's just slowly working his way through the jungle. He's crawling, and then you see those 3 dots creep up onto his forehead, and you know that he knows that he's not going to make it. And then you get the... It doesn't show much, especially, for the time. They really, I guess, kind of couldn't do too much. But it's enough to be gross. You see the aftermath where it's just kind of gooey and bloody, and it's an awesome kill and definitely one of the more memorable moments of the original film and more memorable moments of the entire franchise. And moving along to number 7, we have our next kind of double kill that I was talking about with 2018's The Predator, which is a film that I do not like, but here we have the car harpoon decapitation. This kill is gnarly. It starts off with the Predator shooting a harpoon through a military man, basically, and that harpoon gets stuck inside some metal, and then the Predator tightens up the harpoon wire, and then a car just so happens to be driving, and 3 of the men inside the car get decapitated. It's awesome. It's just the creativity behind the kill is so cool. Yes, we have 4 total deaths here, but the technique is too cool to leave it off this list. And moving right along to the number 6 spot, we have one of the Comanche warriors who ends up trying to save Naru while running through an empty field and being absolutely demolished by the Predator. This really isn't that graphic. It doesn't show any body parts, but it does show a massive geyser of blood that reminds me of Alex Kintner's death in Jaws, and then it shows the Predator continuing to chase after Naru, and you get a quick bird's eye view shot of the Predator swiftly going through the grass and leaving a massive blood trail behind him. This kill is simple, doesn't show much, and I honestly think it could potentially go up after a few more rewatches. Alright, we are now moving on to the top 5 kills in the Predator franchise. Let's not waste any more time. I'm going to give the number 5 kill in the entire Predator franchise to the bear in Prey. I love this fight scene. It's awesome because you get the bear really going after the Predator and showing how the Predator isn't nearly as advanced as the other appearances throughout the entirety of the whole franchise. Of course, though, the Predator ends up getting the upper hand as it's working way up the food chain and slices the bear, although it does happen off screen. He ends up lifting the bear over his head, and then you see the blood from the bear pour over the Predator, revealing kind of a silhouette of the Predator in one of the best shots in the entire film. It might be my favorite shot in the entire film. And moving right along, we have another kill from Prey. I did not expect this to happen. I have, I think, 3 or 4 kills from Prey on this list, and it's not because the film just released. I genuinely went through every single kill in the entire franchise, and this is just one of those kills that is absolutely badass. And that is the Frenchman, the colonizer, getting netted by the Predator and attached to the log that he's leaning up against. The net just flies on him and just crumples him slowly. Well, not slowly. It happens in like a couple seconds. And you just see just a little bit of the net pushing into his skin. And then the net's gone. Like, he's mush. Blah. This net is exactly what I want to see from Predator technology and adds to what we get to see from the net in Predator 2. Okay, now moving along to number 3, we have 3 spots left. All 3 of these kills are fantastic, but coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Blaine from the original Predator. The reason why I picked Blaine as the number 3 spot is this kill is just absolutely one of the most memorable kills in any of the Predator films. You have this manly man carrying a minigun. He's just intimidating. He's just a big human threat. And then he gets absolutely obliterated by the Predator's plasma cannon. That was a lot to say. Predator's plasma cannon. Wow. I love this kill. It's very awesome. It's graphic. It's quick. It's fun. It's brutal. And then on top of that, it's kind of the moment in the film where you realize, oh, anybody's up for grabs. And I love the original Predator. Love this kill. Moving on to the number 2 spot, we have Stan from Predators 2010. Now, I do know that this kill is popular among Predator fans, but I do feel like it might be a little bit controversial ending up this high on the list. This is just one of those kills that's absolutely gnarly and nasty and is easily the most memorable thing about the film. Like, this is the one thing that I take away from Predators every single time that I watch it. This is also the first spine rip that the Predator has done on a live victim, so that was really cool to see. And then it's shot well. It could be a little bit lighter so that way you could see a little bit more, but it is gross enough as it is already. So it's gross, it's shot well, it's crazy, it's cool, it's fun, and it's exactly what you want from a Predator kill. Okay, and we finally made it. We are here at the number 1 spot. We're not going to waste any more time. The number 1 kill, my favorite kill in the entire Predator franchise, has to be Dillon's death in the original 1987 Predator. Dillon, played by Carl Weathers, has a really awesome kill, but he also is one of the more entertaining characters throughout the original Predator. But again, this kill is so intense and just, it's honestly kind of slow. It happens kind of slow. You get the slow motion draw of Carl Weathers' gun, and like the time that the Predator takes to get to him is fast, but it feels slow. It's just all so fun and just is a good rush. Dillon gets his arm blown off by the plasma cannon, and his arm continues to shoot the gun as his severed arm is on the floor. That's just awesome. He uses his other arm to take off the gun and try and shoot the Predator, but he's too slow. He can't figure out where it is, and then the Predator comes up and uses his blade and goes right through the stomach. This scene is great. It's suspenseful with some awesome 80s gore, and I love it. It's my favorite kill in the entire Predator franchise. And I love the Predator franchise as a whole. It's a fun franchise. There are some definitely hits or misses, but overall, there's at least a little bit of enjoyment throughout each and every film. But with that being said, I have reviewed every single Predator film, so if you guys want to go check those out, I will link those down in the description below. I also have a ranking of all 7 Predator films coming out tomorrow, so be sure to check that out, as well as reviews for the Halloween franchise and Scream franchise starting soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Carter Scotland Allen, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.